What's up, everyone? I wanted to do a quick video before I get this thing all cinched down on the Dobinson drawer set install. Obviously, it's not going to be an install video. I've already got it in there, but I wanted to talk over a few things that I experienced, and good, bad, in between. I'll predicate a lot of this also with a short backstory of the freight company. It just so happened that someone else ordered the exact same drawer set, or not the exact same drawer set, but a Dobinson drawer set with Wingset to the same freight company at the same time, and it was just one model number off, and I got the wrong model number. So 2 nights ago, I spent the evening trying to fit a square peg in a round hole. Got a hold of Dobinsons yesterday. They've been working really hard to make everything right and get this thing set up for me. And obviously, we luckily found out like what the issue was, got everything changed out with the freight company. So I'll take a moment to give David especially, and also Miguel, a shout out of thank you for all the help and effort you put into me. I know you've been earning your money with me the last couple of days, and I really appreciate it. Great customer service, and for all the issues and stuff, you guys have been there along the way. So I really appreciate it. So let's get into it. I want to talk about 2 install types. One is temporary, and well, I guess before I get into that, I'll say that this drawer system is not engineered for the 5th gen 4runner. It fits in the 5th gen 4runner. It works in the 5th gen 4runner. It is not designed for the 5th gen 4runner. So you're gonna have to do some MacGyvering. The instructions also are pretty vague, pretty generic, and they don't really have anything specifically for the 5th gen. So just be prepared for that. There's gonna be a lot of parts. Look at all the parts that I just didn't use. So the only thing I did use was some bolts that I got from the hardware store, and I'll talk about that in a second. But as far as the parts that they gave me, I essentially used none of them. So just keep that in mind also. But you don't need that much parts. The tools, minus the drill, the tools that I used are essentially right here. A wrench to grab hold of the nuts, the crescent wrench for the bottom side, and then the sockets on top, and then a 3mm Allen key for all the Allens on this thing. So tool wise, and then the drill obviously. So tool wise, pretty simple, straightforward install process. So let's talk about the temporary, because I'm obviously permanent. I think there's 2 ways. If you don't want to do any drilling, don't have a drill, whatever your case might be, you can run maybe some quick straps underneath this cross member here, and then just pull it over into your factory tie down point. And there's 4 of them around the back end. So I'm not sure what the weight rating is on those tie down points, but should be enough for what you're doing, as long as you're not trying to go out and do backflips on your vehicle or something. The other side to that is you've got some space in here. So you could drill, say here or down here, and put like an eye bolt in here. Your drawer rail is right here. So you've got all this space in here that you could be using to put an eye bolt in and lock it down, and then just use some turnbuckles or same quick straps and do the same thing without running underneath. Whether you use the Wingset or not, I would still recommend temporary, permanent, whatever, taking some 2x4s, cutting, say, an angle, and then sanding it down, get fancy with it, and run them long ways, so then you can slide it in and out, because these cross members are pretty rough metal. The other side of it is, if you're using the Wingset, I would not recommend the Wingset in general, and I'll talk about that in a second. But if you're going to be temporary, I wouldn't recommend the Wingset, because you have to take them off each time to get them in and out of the vehicle, which means take the drawers out, get underneath there, take the braces off, undo the Allen keys or Allen bolts, and go from there. So I wouldn't recommend them, especially if you're going to be temporary. Let's go into the permanent setup. So I took the carpet and the foam out. Maybe not necessary, to each their own. I did it for a couple reasons. One, I had already cut up my carpet a little bit from trying to fit the wrong drawer set in here that the freight company gave me. And the other side of it is more about that foam and the carpet and worrying about the compression over time. I wanted to cinch it down. I wanted to have it secure and stable, and I was worried about that extra soft material in between the drawer system and the floor, and then over time rattling or losing nuts or whatever. So I just went ahead and got rid of it. So how did I install it? I've got two 2x4s just laid flat on each side, front and back. I ran them, sideways, and I did that because I wanted to make sure I had maximum stability. I wanted to make sure that I had maximum weight capacity. I didn't want to do anything that would take away from the weight capacity of the drawer set. Thinking back, I kind of wish I would have ran them the long way, so then I could have had some less dead space and maybe even a little bit of storage underneath. They do send this piece, which is supposed to kind of cover up this area here. I honestly have no idea how it goes in. There's holes in it for bolts and everything, but especially with the Wingset, it doesn't even fit inside of there, in front of there. I'm thinking it needs to go like either underneath here and cinch up here, but then the bolt holes don't line up with anything here. So that's one engineering issue, and I'll talk about more. But the other thing, so I did move this cross member, this one on the back, forward. It used to be, you can kind of see maybe that where it used to be on this hole and this hole. So I just moved it up one entire space, which probably like 3 inches. And I did that for what's underneath. There's the muffler on this side, and then you get into the axle or the frame rail on the other side no matter what. So I wanted to make things as easy as possible, so I moved that back. When I was doing everything, I was strictly focused on what was underneath the vehicle. So as you come back here, you realize that this back end is completely open. So I didn't even consider the back brace, and it was an issue that I ran into because this support brace here is right above where that bottom brace is, or cross member is. It's only on the left side, only on the slider side. So of course I started on what I thought was going to be the hardest bolt. So I started on the back one right above the muffler. I moved over here, then I moved up here, and then I got here, and I said, oh crap. If I would have had like a 90-degree drill or maybe something, I don't know, some other tools, I probably could have still done a vertical drill. At that point, I'd already bolted everything else down. I didn't want to take it back off. I didn't want to go buy a new tool. So I did an angle, which required me to just go back and get a 5-inch instead of a 4-inch bolt. Not, the end of the world at all. And the angle is not horrible, and I can still get the drawer in and out of there without any issues. It sticks up just a little bit, and if I need to, I can grind that down. But I'm fairly confident that I won't have to. But we'll see once I get the drawers in there. So moving on to the Wingset. I wouldn't recommend the Wingset whether you're going to be temporary, permanent, whatever. And here's just a few reasons why. One, it takes away a lot of space. This is in here, and you could stuff some stuff down in here still, but there's space in here that's kind of becomes unusable. This little space pocket in here becomes unusable. I'm sure I've got kids, I got a dog, something's gonna fall down there, and I'm just gonna have to be figuring out how to get it out without taking the platform off or whatever. Same thing on this side. I haven't got this side in there, and I'm not going to put this the rest of the way on. I'm gonna take this off. The reason I'm taking it off is because these bolt holes don't line up the way they should. The whole thing fits, but the holes don't line up, which is problem number one, which is fixable. You just drill new holes, not a big deal. Move on with your life. But then you've got these front pieces also don't line up. And that would mean I'd have to basically trim this thing all the way down, which then it kind of just takes a lot away from it. And the final thing, which I don't know why I'm a nerd, but this is probably the most frustrating thing. I looked at this and just thought, oh, cool, it's a channel for cable management. So I can take this center piece out, run my cables down there. No, you can't. It's hollow. The channel's hollow, and then that channel's hollow. But they want this to be a little bit less permanent, so they put these latches on there, which, by the way, because it's all misaligned, they don't actually latch. And then this thing doesn't go in, so I'm trimming that and everything. But then once it's in, if you wanted to run cables down through there, too bad. Like, you either take this thing off, which means, hey, it's just gonna flap around, or you drill a hole through it, which, you know, if you want to do that, you can do that. But then it's always there. Plus, the hole is not, honestly, looking at it more, the hole is not big enough to really fit a plug through it. So really came down, a lot of my disappointment with this whole install process came down to ignorant expectations. I went into this thinking, cool, it's a Dobinsons, it's a good brand name. It says, like, I searched for my vehicle, so it's for my vehicle, so they engineered it for my vehicle. And I just went into it with that mindset. And as things just kind of started to unfold and realized, like, oh wait, you're gonna have to engineer how to fit this in here. You're gonna have to go get 2x4s. You're gonna have to go get your own bolts. You're gonna have to drill holes. You're gonna have to trim panels. It just kind of ruined a lot of my excitement for the drawer set. It's still a great drawer set. I'm going to be returning the wings back to them and just moving on without it. A little bit of a disappointment. I'm still kind of conflicted about how I feel about it. Whether or not, you know, it does look a lot better, I think, with the wing set on there. But from a functionality perspective, I feel like it's better without it. And then obviously the headache and the misalignments kind of kill it altogether. So customer service at Dobinson, great. 5 out of 5, 6 out of 5, whatever. David, amazing dude, super helpful, super on it, really caring. Props to you, and props to Dobinson for keeping someone around like that. Really happy with the customer service. The drawer system itself, great. I can't really do a full review on it because I haven't gotten it out and like really used it. I haven't put my fridge on it. Still waiting to cinch it down until this video is done. So for now, I'm gonna give it, you know, a great rating or whatever until, you know, I'm proven otherwise. I have played with it a little bit on the ground and when it's not installed. Wing system, I struggle with this because I got to give it like a 1 or 2 out of 5 because it just doesn't work. It looks great in my opinion, personally, but none of it functionally works. So, and then in my opinion, the miss on a channel for cable management is a design shortfall. And then the instructions, I'm definitely giving like a 1 or a 0 out of 5. This thing is not designed for your vehicle. It's designed for vehicles. And so just be prepared to kind of do your own thing and figure out how you're going to put this in. And if that's your thing, great. I'm just going to fall back to my expectations versus the outcome. And if I would have gone into this with the expectation of drilling and doing all these things, then I would have probably had a different opinion, but I didn't do that. And so my expectations have me disappointed in the overall process. But that's it. That's the review of installing this thing. It's a review of everything that's gone on over the last 3 days. I'm going to be taking the wing sets off and be shipping them back, and then I'm just going to roll with the drawer set. And I'll probably follow back up with another video in a while once I get the fridge in there and kind of drive around with it for a bit about what I think about the drawer set. So take care. Hope to see you out there. Leave comments below if you have any questions, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible.